So thank you guys for joining me. We're just gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk about Google Business Profile, how to optimize um, getting into your Google Business Profile and make sure that you've got things turned on that you want turned on. You've got you're maximizing your Google Business Profile and how it's going to have an effect with regards to the algorithm, the Google algorithm and stuff like that. All right. So right off the bat, getting set up, like we were talking about, like how would we even actually go about getting set up with a Google Business Profile if we don't already have it? And you're gonna simply just Google it, right? So if I go Google and it's Google Business Profile, right? It's not Google My Business anymore. I know that that's been used in the past. I know Shannon Steer has her Google My Business class. That's actually outdated now. There is no Google My Business. Google has switched it over to just being the Google Business Profile. So if I do a quick search with that, it's going to pull up the Google Business Profile search results, and it's going to allow me to kind of go through and start getting set up with this. So the system's already recognized that I'm logged in, and I've already got some profiles. So I've got the luxury profile here, the KW profile. So it already recognizes my profiles that I already have for this. So it's pulling those up first, right? So if I didn't have those, if I'm logged into a Gmail address that doesn't have those, then it's going to immediately pull up the Google Business Profile stuff to help me start setting all of that. Are you looking for the Ignite? It's over at the luxury office.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So if you are not, if you're seeing this, then that means you probably already have a Google Business Profile set up. In that case, when you click on the little 9 stacked dots in the upper right corner, the Google Apps, when I click on that, if you already have a Google Business Profile, you're going to see that come up towards the top right away. Okay, so like my Google Business Profile Manager comes up, and it's the third option on here. Okay, if I'm not seeing it, then I may not already have a Google Business Profile account. So I might even just be able to scroll through and it'll be listed in the apps below. Okay, but basically that's what I'm looking for, is just that little shop icon with the G on the bottom right. That's my Google Business Profile account, right? And that will allow me to get in and start managing that. So I'm going to go over to where my account is at, my realtor account. So same thing, like if I click on that little shop icon, it basically takes me to this page where I can manage my Google Business Profile account, right? So if I'm not to this step yet, so let's take a step back. If I need to first get set up, I would click on it and follow the prompting to get set up with my Google Business Profile account. It's going to give me, so as I'm going through all the steps and I'm getting it all set up, putting in the name of my business and all of that stuff, I'm going to get to the point to where it's going to ask me, how do I want to verify my business account? And it's going to give me 4 options, right? So it's going to give me the option. So it's not going to give me 4 options. I shouldn't say that. It'll give you maybe 1 or 2 options of the 4 options that they allow. All right. So they'll give you possibly the option to do a phone code. So they'll text you or call you and give you a phone code. They could potentially give you the option to do the email code. It could be another option. They could also do a business email. I'm not sure what all is involved in that one. And then the postcard is going to be, so like a snail mail option is going to be the other one. I did the postcard option for getting the business Google Business Profile account for the office, for this office setup. I did that one. And you're going to basically be waiting on receiving a postcard from Google before you can verify. So it could take a little while, could take like a week or 2. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's old school, right? Um, so one of the options I forgot to even write it down. I think I mixed these two up. I don't think I meant to write business email. I think I meant to write business video. That's what it is. The third one should be business video, not email. Business video is where it gives you the option to right from their account. Like it's going to tell you like it's going to give you the prompts. And it's going to open up your camera and all that. It's going to allow you to record a video directly from that Google Business Profile account. So basically, Google's going to be so you're not going to be going to your camera app and recording a video and sending it or anything like that. It's all going to happen within their own account. So it'll tell you like, go stand outside, and they're going to want to verify certain things, right? They're going to want to verify that for one, that you work where you say you work, and that you have access to the building, and want you to prove somehow that you are like management there or whatever. So I've helped people do this. Basically, go out into the parking lot, go to the prompting for it. It's going to activate your camera. You're going to show the building, show the address, and you're going to walk. So it's going to keep recording. You're going to walk towards the door. You're going to use your fob to unlock the door. So you're going to, use your fob, show that the little light goes from red to green, opens the door. You open the door, you walk in. Sometimes that's been enough. Sometimes that has not been enough. So Google is going to decide, whoever's on the other side waiting for your video is going to decide whether that's good enough or not. Sometimes they decide that it is not. Like we had Raquel Gurule was in here trying to get hers verified, and it was being a real pain in the butt. So what she had to do, I told her, I was like, you know what, they're probably wanting to see that like you are a part of this business somehow. I was like, maybe show them your license hanging on the wall. So she did that. So she went back outside, filmed the front, unlocked the door, filmed herself walking through the building, going to where the licenses are, and then kind of zooming in on her license, showing that her license was hanging on the wall. And then that seemed to have done the trick. Shortly thereafter, she got verified. Okay, so sometimes you have to go through a little bit more in order to be able to get that little blue check mark showing that you're verified and get moving on to the rest of it. Any questions so far? Okay, so I know that in Shannon Steer's old Google My Business class, she talked about choosing between having a retail store or a service, providing a service. I don't think that they do that anymore. The last time that I got in with into the Google Business Profile accounts and went through that whole process with somebody, it doesn't seem like they're asking that anymore. However, I've found that the Google process has not been consistent. So if you do get asked what type of business you have, is it a retail store or is it a service? Choose retail store. I know that throws people off. It's because we are actually providing a service, but really what I want for you all to have is have your Google Business Profile account set up so that you can create basically what's going to kind of be viewed as like an online store. I want you to have the ability to have products, to be able to like do all of the things that a retail store does with your account because you're able to do more. And I really want you to be able to take advantage of that. So do not choose service, choose retail store if it asks. You have a question?
So how do I check and see if I pick services and how I switch it over to store?
I don't think that if that's already been decided, I don't think that there's a way to do it because I went and tried to look for mine and I couldn't find it. So one telltale that's going to be able to tell you like what you have, because now I think they might have just opened it up to everybody. Everybody has the same thing.
Okay.
The telltale though is going to be if you have a section for products under your account. So if you have a section for products, so for example, if I scroll down and here's my account, right? So if I scroll down and I'm looking, I've got updates. Oh, actually, you know what? It's not going to show on mine. I'll have to go to, let's view my account from another, like if I'm another person.
I think you're right, whatever I picked, but down here it says add a post, tell customers about special events, deals or products.
Yeah, there you go. So you should be good. You should be good then. So long as we have the ability, oh, and actually I have it right here. I had it in front of me the whole time. So if you have the edit products, that's what we want. We want to be able to have that. So that was the difference between a retail service or a service and a retail store before. Now I think that everybody just has it. I think Google moved everybody over to basically having like a retail store type account, which is what you want. So what, like, if I want you to have a product section, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I want you to be able to put something in that product section. What is it that you're going to put in that product section? What is our product?
Retail or residential real estate sales.
Listings. Yeah. Yeah. Our sales, our listings, right? That's our product. And so I'll show you an example of that, right? So if I go to Google and I type in Shannon Group, Kansas, right? Shannon does a really great job of displaying her products. Okay. So I go to Shannon's account and I'm looking at it. And for one, like she's only got 157 Google reviews, which the last time I did this class 2 months ago, it was the exact same number. So I'm gonna have to call her out a little bit and help her out. But you guys got to focus on reviews. Reviews are going to impact the algorithm so very much. After every single transaction, you should be asking for reviews, not just from the client, but from the other realtor as well. You should be reaching out to the other realtor and say, hey, like that was a great transaction. I mean, obviously, if it wasn't a great transaction, probably don't do this. But if it was a great transaction, like, hey, really enjoyed working with you, why don't we leave each other a review on Google? That helps both of you bump up your accounts, and that is going to affect so much on your algorithm and how you're placing when somebody's doing a search in the area. Okay. So really try to focus on those reviews. But I'm scrolling down on Shannon's Google business profile, and I want to get to her products. Right here, I can see her products. Looks like a bunch of listings to me. So I click on view all products, and here's what it shows. Sold homes 2017, sold homes 2018, 2023, 2015, right? So she is putting all of her, this is basically like anybody who's looking her up, who wants to see what it is, like what does she do? Like how experienced is she? Like if somebody's really shopping for a realtor and wants to learn about that person before committing to working with them, this is a great way to show them, excuse me, to show them what you've done, right? This is my store. This is my product store, right? This is all the stuff that I've done, right? If I had, especially if I had inventory like Shannon, like this is something that's I would be all over. Okay. That's one way to do it. There's those of us who don't have 20 plus years in the industry and don't have, all of this inventory to be able to put into products, into the product section like Shannon, though, right? So this isn't the one thing that you can do here. You can do it a different way, right? So I like this other one. If I go and I Google Jacob Shireman and Miguel Gutierrez out of Houston, here's what comes up, right? So Jacob and Miguel are partnered real estate brokers. They're actually out of EXP, out of the Houston area, but I really liked what I was seeing for their Google business profile. So again, if I scroll down and I go to their products and I go view all, theirs is a little different, right? So they have homes for sale, they have buying a home and selling your home. And so they're not necessarily putting listings like their listings on here, but they're doing something else, right? So if I click on the homes for sale in the Richmond area, so if I click on this, it takes me to that page where it basically kind of gives me a quick description of what it is that they're doing here. And it gives me a link to a visit site. So if I'm looking for homes in Richmond, like this is what I'm looking them up for. I'm in the Richmond area trying to see what these guys do. And I click on this, it takes me to their landing page that is already set up as a search for homes in Richmond. So it takes me directly to their website and a specific landing page already created for that specific search. So you're not just having to do your inventory. You can get creative with this. You can use landing pages out of that products section, right? We have the ability now, and in 2 weeks, I'm teaching a class on websites and doing landing pages. So then we'll really dive into what we can do within Command for our KW website to be able to do this, do exactly this. I can create a landing page. I can create a landing page specific to a listing. I can create a landing page to send them to an AVM if you want to, give them an idea of what their home could be valued at. Like, or I could do a landing page like this where it takes them to an MLS search to a specific area. Like there's so many things that I can do with that. Right? I'm just kind of limited by my creativity with this. So you really have options when you're looking at what you can do with your products section. Okay. All right. So little tip from me to you guys, because I really don't want you to run into the issues that I ran into. If you're doing the setup, and I think that you two that are in the class today have already got your account set up. But for those that may be watching this recording later on, if you're doing this setup and you're going through, all of the description of your business, the hours, your contact information, at some point it's going to ask you to define your categories of service. Only choose up to 3. I know it's like very tempting to go on there and choose all of the real estate ones, like, oh, I could, first time home buyers and, listing residential properties and like all of this stuff, right? Google, for some reason, does not like when you do too much. As my kids call it, you're a tryhard, right? So they are going to put a nix to that. So to be safe, only choose 3 categories. Okay, only 3. So I chose the top 3 that were like more niche to me and the things that I'm doing within my business. So I like first time home buyers was a thing for me. Luxury homes was not. So I took that one off, right? Setting up your business profile. So when you are on this page, you see all of the different sections that you can do: edit profile, read reviews, messages, photos, all of this stuff. You're going to want to go through, obviously, edit profile. You're going to want to get excuse me, damn allergies are killing me. Every time I see the wind blowing before work, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be one of those days. So you're going to want to get as detailed as possible when you're going through and editing your profile, okay, for the purposes of compliance, unless you have a qualifying broker and are completely owning your own business separate from a large brokerage like KW. You need to have who you're attached to in your business name, okay? So it needs to say something to the effect of that you are with Keller Williams Realty. Right? Whatever the team, your business name, your team name is, whatever, with Keller Williams Realty Inc. Okay. Because otherwise the public is going to see this. So for example, if my real estate business name was Reyes Realty, right? So if I went by Reyes Realty, I would not just name the business name Reyes Realty and leave it at that. Now, that to the public makes me look like I'm my own brokerage, right? That possibly I'm my own qualifying broker, like that I am my own individual independent entity. And I am not. I'm not a qualifying broker. I have a qualifying broker. Her name is Alice, right? So I need to show that. So it needs to say, like if it were Reyes Realty, it would need to say Reyes Realty with Keller Williams Realty, right? Or whatever the team name is, or whatever you're going by, you still need to have that attachment to the bigger entity. Okay, because there needs to be transparency in that. Otherwise, the real estate commission could have some issues with that. Okay. So business category, I'm a real estate agent. The description. So with regards to my description, I try to keep all of my descriptions, all of my profile like headers and all of that stuff across everything that I'm doing. I try to keep them as consistent as possible. Okay. I really try to keep them as consistent as possible. So for me, what's easiest to do is to keep all of my marketing information that I have for all of my accounts, whether it's homes.com, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that stuff. I try to keep it all onto one document on Google. So I'm going to show you real quick what I do and how I was able to pull up a quick description for this, right? So I'm going to go to the plus sign, get a new tab. Then I'm going to go over to my Google Apps. And this is what I do. I go down to my docs, click on my docs, and I started a blank doc, right? And I created this social media marketing document, right? So that's where I started, and then I started adding to it, and now this is what it looks like, right? So I created all of this from scratch just to make sure that all of my marketing and branding were consistent. I want to look the same no matter where you're looking for me at, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Snapchat, whatever it is, I really want it all to look the same. Because you'll notice if I go back over to my Google business profile and I scroll down a little ways, I've got my website on here, and then I've got my social profiles. And for the most part, there's one little outlier there, but for the most part, all of my social profiles look the same, right? It's all Adrian, your realtor, right? For all of my social profiles, except for Facebook. I didn't want to change that one. I've had that one forever, since like 2007. So I didn't want to change that one. But everything else is for the most part, it's the same. And I say for the most part because there are going to be different requirements on different platforms. For example, you see LinkedIn. Instead of having an underscore or a period or a dash in between the words, it's all strung together. Adrian, your realtor, right? And that's because LinkedIn wouldn't allow me to put any underscores or anything like that. So I try to stay as consistent as possible, given that the platforms are all going to have different requirements. Okay, does that make sense? So then we go back to the social media marketing or branding document that I made, and I made this so that I can just quickly look at all of my stuff. What does my profile description look like from YouTube to Instagram to TikTok? Like, is it all looking the same, or am I different like everywhere? If you go to different profiles and you're just constantly looking different, you're not staying consistent. For one, it's not going to help you with regards to algorithm. Two, like you're sending different messages to potential clients they're trying to Facebook stalk you and figure out who you are, right? Before they give that commitment to working with you. So you want to make it simple for people to be able to understand who you are, where you're coming from, and what you're about. Okay. So this is a quick, easy way for me to see all of that. So what I did was when I created my homes.com account, I went into Chat GPT and I talk with my Chat GPT, right? So I go into Chat GPT and I have a conversation with it because Chat GPT needs to understand who I am. So I'll talk to Chat GPT and I'll just type in there and be like, this is my background, this is what I'm doing, these are the things that I believe in, these are priorities for me, and I'm running this business. In my business, these are the people that are my niche. This is where I'm focusing, this is my audience. This is how I like to talk to them. I like to be, very what's the word that I use? It was something to the effect of like educational. Like I like to come off as being like a teacher or a trainer. However, I also like to have fun and I could be somewhat witty at times. And I do like to be very lighthearted, and those types of things mean a lot to me. So I just talk to my Chat GPT and let it know all about me. So then when I need something from my Chat GPT, I tell it based on what you know about me, I need a quick profile description for this that needs to be, no more than 400 characters or whatever those limitations are for that given platform. So I did that for homes.com. Homes.com, I basically went into Chat GPT and said, hey, give me a quick description of me and like where I'm coming from in my business. And then it spit it out. And it gave me what I put into my profile for homes.com. Right. So then I was like, well, I had to do a little tweaking on it, just a little bit. So then once I got that to where I liked it, and I was like, cool, I'm going to copy this, paste it into my Google Business Profile account. I did that and I got the little red warning at the bottom already. I was beyond the character account allowed. Right. So again, from platform to platform, it's going to be different requirements. So I was like, oh crap. Went back to Chat GPT and I was like, hey, that last profile description that you gave me was fantastic, or that bio that you gave me was fantastic. Can you do that again, but summarize it to 750 characters or less? And then it gave me what I plugged into my Google Business Profile account. Right, so it did it again for me, but was able to tighten it up. Okay, and again, I had to go in and just kind of tweak some things and make sure that it sounded right, because sometimes AI will give you some weird, some goofy stuff. But yeah, that's how I did it. Pretty quick and easy. For me, it was quick and easy because I've already been training my AI, so it already knows me. So now that when I go in and I ask it for something, it's able to do something for me real quick, right? So it does take going into Chat GPT, even if it's the free version, the 3.5, does take going into it, just spending a little bit of time training your AI as to who you are and like what your business is and all of that. Okay. Any questions so far? Good, Bob. Bob, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, I just said, yeah, I am. I'm listening out of both ears, though. I'm kind of half and half. But yeah, I surprised myself. I have a business page on Google that shocked me, but whatever. Probably due to your tutelage.
Outstanding. I'm gonna have to check it out later, Bob. Awesome. So yeah, so this helps me to stay organized, and it helps, and you'll see I've got everything on here, homes.com, alignable. I haven't done my Zillow.com and my realtor.com just yet, holding off on those. But everything else I've got complete. Okay. So this helps me to stay organized on that. So fill out that edit profile portion as much as possible. Your hours, if you have special hours, anything like that, accessibility. So like the accessibility and stuff like that, that's going to be kind of dependent on where you're working out of, right? So if you're working out of here in the academy office, and we are wheelchair accessible, I would put that. Right? There's gonna be clients that's gonna make a difference for, okay? So go through all of that stuff, make sure it's as complete as possible, and then you're just gonna kind of start going down the line and looking at everything. So if you are starting to receive reviews from clients or from other realtors, you can read those reviews and engage with them by that next app. So I don't have any at this point, so which is why it only says that I can only read reviews. And it's telling me that I have to get more reviews, so I don't have any yet. But if I start to get reviews, here's something that's really going to affect, again, the algorithm, right? You have to use this stuff. Google's not going to give it to you and like place you high in the algorithm just because you want them to. They're going to want something back from you, and that's engagement. They want you using their products. They really want you to get in and consistently use their products. So if I get a review, what should I do with that review?
Put it on the web.
So it'll be on the web because when you give them the leave me a review link, it's going to be for your Google business profile, right? So they get that and then they go and they leave you a review. Now what do you do with it?
Well, you have to put that in your profile, don't you?
So it'll be connected to your profile. And
Or hashtag it somewhere else?
you will respond to it. So engagement matters, right? Engagement absolutely matters, right? You want to make sure that you're not just using their products, but that you're using them consistently and thoroughly, right? So if somebody reviews you, go in and thank them for the review, right? Even if it's a bad review, because I've seen this on other business pages, when the owner of the business page goes in and addresses a bad review, right? If they address a bad review, me as a consumer looking at that business, me personally, that means a lot. Because a lot of times, like, somebody will leave like a 1-star and like no explanation, right? And when I used to own a gym, I saw this. People would leave a 1-star. And I'm like, I don't even know who this person is. I've never seen them in my life. I know they've never come into my gym, right? Like sometimes people are just going through the internet and I've had one person tell me, look, oh, I think I fat fingered that. I didn't even mean to leave you that review. I've never been to your business before. And I'm like, it's okay. Do you mind removing it? Like it's affecting my rating. Like, and so sometimes that happens. So being engaging even with those bad reviews, like, hey, like, even if you did something wrong, owning it and trying to find a way to make it good. Like that's what is going to impact how the algorithm is affecting your business and how you're able to come up on the searches, right? So you've got to engage. So the reviews are going to be really critical. Messages, okay, is the next one over. So, excuse me. So if I click here into messages, this is going to be something that I want to ensure that I turn on, right? If you do not have messages turned on, again, this is going to be one of those elements of like Google looking at, are you actually using our product, right? Are you going in and is the public able to get a hold of you and engage with you? Because that's what Google wants. They want engagement. So is the public able to get in, send a frequently asked question into the frequently asked questions section? Can they ask you a question? Are you going to respond to it? Right? If you have this turned off, you might not even know that question even came in. So you want to make sure that you have messaging turned on, right? And it'll show that you're available during your business hours that you set. Okay. So you'll get a little notification. Does anybody know where, so like if I'm using the app for this, does anybody know what app that is?
I know.
So I will tell you that Google Business Profile does not actually have an app to itself. If you go into any of the stores and you look up Google Business Profile, there's gonna be things that come up. Those are not the apps. Don't even download them. They're a waste of time. I did that. I thought I was gonna be smart and get a one up, and it did not work. The Google Business Profile app that we're gonna use is Google Maps. It's Google Maps.
Google
Okay.
Maps.
Yep. So I'll show you. I'm gonna log in right now into this Zoom call. And then I'm going to give myself, let me see. Oh, hey, Freddie. Sorry, I had you kind of below the screen there. I didn't see that you're in here. All right, so I'm going to log into this and give myself, which one? This one's me, co-host. Okay, so now I can do.
Recording in progress.
Google Maps on a laptop or on a phone? Is it easier to do it on the laptop and it'll show up on the phone later?
So if you're going to the app, I would say the phone is going to be probably the easiest. I'll show you in a second, because what we're actually going to get is different options through the app on the phone than what you actually can get online.
So should we go online on my laptop then?
Yeah, you can. Let me go
Adrian,
share screen.
Adrian, did you want us to actually open the Google Maps, like the little balloon icon? Different maps.
So I'll show you here in just a moment. Let me get to my share screen.
Okay.
Screen, start now. Okay. Boom. Okay, so you guys are seeing my phone, right? If I go over to Google Maps,
Oh,
So-
yeah, that's that one. Okay.
okay, so go to the Google Maps. I'm
Okay.
going to search, and I'm gonna type in, oops. Adrian Reyes with Keller Williams Realty. So because I've already set up my Google profile account, I've, pinned it on the map and everything else. It's starting to already pull me up. Plus I've searched it before in this app. So you can see right there at the top, my name comes up. Click on that. There I am. Okay. So now I've got so if I'm on the go and I am trying to, get something posted to my Google business profile account, like maybe I'm out and I just got a new listing, right? And I want to make a quick post and put it into my Google business profile that I got this new listing. I want to do an update, right? I can do that from my phone right then and there. So you'll notice if somebody looks me up, they have these options for me as well. They can get directions to me. They can call me. They can chat with me, which is the messages that we just turned on, right? They can save me, share me, post something. So that would be like asking a question. No, actually, this is mine because I'm logged in. So this would allow me to post. Like I was saying, I just got this listing. I want to create a new post because engagement matters with my Google business profile. If I'm not engaging with it, I'm not going to fare well with the algorithm because Google is egotistical and really wants me to just use their product, right? Which is fine because I am. And so I can do all of that stuff right from here. Okay. Any questions on that? No. So yeah, all of my stuff is in here. Like if they want to scroll through and see my photos, see what I'm all about, see like directions to get to me, all of that stuff is in here. They want to leave me a review. It's all can be done from Google Maps. Right, my latest updates. It's all right there. All right, I'm gonna do a stop share real quick because this is the echo's driving me nuts. You guys can't hear it, but I can. Sure.
What are we doing, Adrian?
So I'm just leaving the app and then I'm gonna go back to my regular screen.
Eliminating the feedback?
Yeah, because I can hear myself on my phone right now and it's driving me crazy. Okay, so I'm out of that. So let me go back to share screen on here. All right, so we turned on those messages. Now we went to the app and we can see how we're able to like engage with all that stuff, right? If somebody asks a question and I'm on the go, I'm not at my laptop, but I want to be able to answer that question really, really quickly. I'm going to get that notification and I can go into the Google Maps app, right? And I can respond to that question right away, right? Like you're going to want to try to be speedy with these things too. If Google starts seeing that people are asking questions and you're taking, days or weeks to answer those questions, or you're not answering those questions, then they're going to start to think you're not utilizing their product and you are not going to be prioritized. Okay.
Okay, so the two best ways to do that would be to make sure to get notified or to allow messages be available. And then turn on web notifications, and then we can see it on our Google Maps on the phone.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. You'll get a little ping, a little push notification saying that, a question came in or whatever, and then you'll be able to go to the app and respond. Okay. So yeah, messaging is really important. Photos are really, really important, right? Like if I go into photos, like this is, like I said, people are shopping. They're wanting to know, because there's what, 4,200 realtors in our area that they can choose from, right? 4,200 other realtors. Like, I want people to kind of know a little bit about me so that they're finding the realtor that works best for them. And I can kind of like, from that, know that like I'm getting aligned with my people as well. Right. So a niche for me is military. Like, obviously that's my background. So I'm going to show that, I'm going to showcase my background a little bit here. You can also put, and I recommend that you put photos of like past listings, right? Past or even past homes that you've sold, right? Like you want to be able to show that you've got some experience. And maybe you're putting whatever your niche is. If your niche is luxury, maybe those photos that you're posting are of luxury homes, right? Or if your niche is first-time home buyers, show that, right? Show some nice photos of some $250,000, $300,000 homes, right? That's what you're going to showcase here. And make sure that they're quality photos too, right? It should be good quality photos. I looked up somebody the other day that I really liked, their stuff here. Actually, you know what? It was Penny. So if I go and I look up Penny Rivera, Albuquerque, New Mexico, boom, her stuff comes up right away, right? So if I look at Penny's photos, she has some really nice photos in here, like really nice. Some listings or some homes that she sold in the past, right? And even gets into like some of her like stuff that she does outside of just the home. Like she's, there she is with some new home owning clients. Like she met with the old NAR president, and she's got balloons in here showcasing New Mexico. So stuff like that, where it's like really kind of showing who you are. You don't know who's going to be going onto this profile and looking for you. It could be somebody out of state. Show them that you're connected with your community. Show them that you are, involved in New Mexico and not just real estate. Show them that, we've got other things to offer here. So really try to maximize what you're able to do through each one of these sections for your Google business profile. Okay. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm gonna close this out. What's really nice is the performance. If you're not tracking it, you have no idea where you're at, right? Goes for anything. One of the things I love most about Command is that all of the reporting that it can do, right? So Google Business Profile Management is no different. I can see how much engagement, how much interactions I'm getting for my Google Business Profile. If somebody's searching for something just generally speaking in the Albuquerque area, maybe it's not even real estate, but it'll show me, where my interactions are coming from. What I thought was really interesting was like I did go to, because you can scroll down, you can see where all of this stuff is coming from. So 257, 73% is coming from a Google search via mobile, right? Only 2% is coming from Google Maps on a desktop. But then you look over here to the right, 104 searches showed your business profile in the search results. But what were those searches? What were they searching for? This tells me they weren't searching for me. Idali Reyes from Albuquerque, New Mexico, that's a woman that was murdered back in 2012, right? So I got 59 interactions, or I came up 59 times in those searches when they were searching for her, 59 times. And this happened in mostly around the month of March. Reason being is that in March, they arrested somebody in her murder from like 9 years ago. My name, because we both have the last name Reyes, my business profile was coming up along with that. Okay. So you can see, which like to me, it's super interesting. You can see where all of this stuff is coming from. Is it coming from things that you're doing, or is it coming from something that's happening out in the world? Right. This for me was not something that I was doing. It was coming from something out in the world. So this right off the bat for me is showing me I need to step up my game. I'm not being consistent, right? My interactions are going way down because I'm not being consistent, right? If you can be consistent and you can play Google's game, you can see this trajectory just keep going up and up. And you've got all of these different options too. You can see, did anybody call my business from my Google Business Profile? I got 3 calls. They were spam calls, but I got 3 calls, right? Did anybody message me? No. Did anybody book with me? No. Who asked for directions? 180. So that might not all be me because we have a lot of realtors in this building. So it might have just been to this building, right? But 180 people looked for directions to this building. And website clicks. One person actually clicked to go into my website. It might have been me testing my profile. Just be transparent and honest. So it's really cool that you can see all of that stuff, because then it really kind of shows you where you need to put your efforts. Okay. Let's see. So we can go from advertise. You'll notice up here, my profile strength is not complete. It's not green. It's not completely filled in the circle. And that's because I've not done any advertising with Google. When you get set up, they'll offer you $500 of free Google advertising. I've not taken advantage of that yet. Once you do take advantage of that, your profile strength goes up. Okay. Editing your products, we talked about this. Like, you definitely want to take advantage of this. I showed you those examples before. You can put inventory in here if you've got a bunch of inventory. If you don't have a bunch of inventory because you're newer like me, then get creative, right? That's where you can start putting in those landing pages, just like those guys did, Jacob and Miguel, right? So Jacob and Miguel, so Jacob Shireman and Miguel Gutierrez out of Houston. Again, we look at their products, view all, and they are just doing landing pages, taking whoever's looking at their products, taking them to a landing page specific to whatever it is that they're posting about. Okay. Which I highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend. editing your services. So this is where, like, if you signed up for too many of those services, you can go in there and edit from that. Again, I recommend that you don't do any more than 3. Google reached out to me and told me, hey, you're doing too much. So I had to go in and delete some stuff. So I focused on my top 3 like niches. So buying agent services, sellers agent services, first time home buyer, right? And I think I did take out luxury and something else I don't remember off the top of my head, because basically Google was telling me that I had too much and I didn't want to get suspended. Bookings. So this I connected to my Calendly. You can connect it to whatever booking app you use. You can also go in here and they will give you some that they use. You can go with whatever Google features, or you can set up your own. I set mine up with Calendly, so I'll show you what that looks like. Let me move this. So if I go to my profile here, so on a different page or under a different profile, if I go to appointments and I click on Calendly, it's going to allow you to book time with me. 60 minutes with your realtor, and they can click on that and get time set with me whenever. Okay, so this makes you accessible. So I highly recommend that you get that set up as well. Phone calls, that's just setting it to whatever phone number you need to get it set to. I believe it allows you to set it up to, I haven't set this up yet, but I believe it'll allow you to set it up to if you're utilizing an app. Like if you have a WhatsApp number that you're utilizing or whatever, you would just give it that number, okay? And go through and set all of that up. The Q&A. The Q&A is really another opportunity to get engagement, right? This is your opportunity that if they are looking you up, they might see what are other people asking Adrian about. And I can tell you right here, like somebody came in, that somebody was me, right? Came into my profile, asked, how do I know how much house I can afford when buying a home in the Albuquerque area, right? So it doesn't show who asked it, right? But it is going to show who answers it. I answered it, okay? You can go and you can Google like, top 10 questions that are asked of real estate brokers or agents, right? Probably agents because there's more of those. But top 10 questions to ask a real estate agent, right? And you can take that and you can put that here in the questions and answer. And I highly recommend that you do.
Does that help your ranking?
Yep. I think that's more engagement, right? It's more engagement. It's more of you utilizing their service, Google service, right? So put in a few questions and answer them, right? The add update. So there are 3 ways. There's 3 ways that you are going to keep consistent with utilizing Google's product, right? That's going to be either via an update, via an offer, or via an event, right? So all of those things you can create on here. So I will show you that if, for example, if you are going to my Google business profile, I'll switch over to a different thing so we can look at that. Let's go back. So you look me up, you type in Adrian Reyes, Realtor, Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is what comes up, right? If I am keeping this section down here updated, again, this is going to be how I stay consistent with this. Anything that you're posting to social media, as far as like just images, not necessarily videos, but just images, you can also post here. So like I always think of like Penny just did her clothing swap here in the office like weekend before last, I think it was. And she had like 300 people here. If she had posted that event onto her Google business profile, like that is just another thing helping to get people engaged and show that she's consistently using Google's product, right? That's a great way to do it. I did it for Fair Housing Month, right? So I posted a little something on here, and this is something that I posted to Instagram and Facebook as well, right? So I posted those things there, but I can also post it here on Google Business Profile. And that helps me to show Google that I'm staying consistent with utilizing this, that I'm not just dropping off. Okay. So it's these types of things that you'll want to post to show that like this is an active account, right? The more Google sees that you've got an active account and maybe you're doing this, you're utilizing like in the photos section, if you want to post a YouTube video, maybe an interview of yourself, who owns YouTube?
Google.
Google. You're using another one of their products and marrying those things together. That's
I'm okay with it.
even higher on that with regards to the algorithm and those results, right? So those are the types of things. Show Google that you are utilizing their products, not just utilizing them, but maximizing them consistently, and you will keep building on what you're doing here within their stuff organically. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So let me go back to my Google Business Profile. So one of the last things I just wanted to show you guys is a lot of times I get people asking like, how do I get my link for asking for reviews? And I don't know if you saw me at the beginning, but a lot of times it's hidden. So this little carrot over here on the right, you just click that little carrot, it drops down and opens up those additional options. And that ask for reviews is where you get that link. Okay, so you can copy that link, you can post it on Facebook, you can post it to an email. Like if this would be a link that I would probably have as part of my checklist for closing out a transaction. Right. So if we just went to closing, everything's fantastic. I need this person to leave me a review as part of like whatever my follow-on steps are in closing things out with that client. I'm giving them this link and asking for that review. And again, I'm probably also sending this to the other realtor and saying, hey, why don't we help each other out and leave each other a review? This thing went off without a hitch and I appreciate you for it. So let's help each other out. Okay. Any questions?
Uh, who wouldn't have 30 questions?
I'm trying to go through my notes here. I think I covered everything. I did not look at these notes like, but maybe once or twice. And TV wrap up, Gmail account. Okay, so I think I covered everything. So remember that we're wanting to get that search engine optimization, right? That's what I didn't say. That search engine optimization, if we are utilizing Google's accounts, we are utilizing them consistently, we are maximizing how we're utilizing them. All of this is going to play into that search engine optimization, and we are going to fare well with that. I can tell you that locally, when I'm looking at it, there's a lot of top producing realtors who are not consistent with their Google Business Profile postings. And so their account kind of starts to deaden, right? Like their search engine optimization, unless they're paying for it, starts to drop. Okay. Even if they've been at it for 15, 20 years, they have like some like mega team or whatever. If they are not staying consistent, if they're not paying Google for one, but then on top of that, they're not staying consistent, they're going to start to drop off and anybody can start to pull themselves up above them. Brand new broker just started 6 months ago can start to pull up above that person who's been here 15, 20 years and built an empire because they're not staying consistent with it. Okay. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you.
Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate your time and counsel.
It's my pleasure. It is my pleasure. Thank you all for showing up. I appreciate all of you guys. Raquel, Bob, and Freddie, I'm going to get you guys added to the little attendance thing at the back of the room, so you guys are good to go.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. If you need anything. Have a great day.
Have a great
You
day.
also, bye-bye.
Wow.